Hey, Scott Thomas, President of Acts 29 here with my friend Jeff Vanderstout, Vice President of Acts 29, and we're talking about living a life on mission. Jeff, you've talked a lot about mission and living a life on mission, living in gospel communities together, being on mission together, being intentional about our lives. Can you give me an example of maybe something's happened in your community?
Well, this last year we formed a new missional community about a year ago, and we formed it around a particular mission, which was this neighborhood that I live in, and then the elementary school that's connected to it. And it happened to have a set of parents that we started to get to know that live not too far from us.
And so you were in context, though. I mean, so you didn't
we didn't move away.
Else.
We didn't move away. Yeah,
you're right there where you live.
Yeah,
right?
We just took where we live, and then the elementary school that's connected to it. So that way it could go outside of just a few blocks. I mean, you have parents coming from other areas.
Sure. I think that's important.
Yeah. There's lots of flexibility in how you do it. But it was at least, for us, it was important to at least say, we're going to give ourselves the energy and time and focus at least around something. Otherwise, it's just like, well, if we get the time, we'll do it. And so we started having barbecues and parties and Halloween things. We invite their parents and the kids, and we take the kids trick-or-treat, and we served at the auctions and did after-school stuff with the kids and all the events we tried to be involved in. And so that as you do that, you get to know people. And we got to know this one couple and just started having them over more and more for dinner. And then I found out he really likes to get his hands dirty. He likes to fix things and clean up things. So we had him work on our neighbor's yard with us, with a bunch of the people from our own missional community who were Christians with us on mission to reach these unbelieving friends. And he started serving, brought his dump trailer to bring in bark and clean up junk, and just hung out with us, started watching our community.
At this point, he's not a believer.
He's not a believer. He'd never been in a church before. He didn't have any clue. Didn't ever read the Bible. Yeah. Jesus he heard
but
of
he kind of dug what you were doing.
Yeah, he liked us. In fact, he tells me regularly, he said, I just saw light in you guys, and I wanted it. And he said, and I wanted what I saw in you, and all your friends had it too. And so I wanted whatever you had. And when I saw you were together, I liked being with you, and the way you care for each other, and the way you love each other. That's kind of what I want my family to be around. Mm-hmm. So he just started bringing us into that as much as himself and his family into it as much as he could. And over time, he loved surfing, so he'd go, I love the waves, and they're so cool, and I feel like there's a force there. And I go, I'll tell you, the force is the Creator. And the reason why you love the waves is because it reminds you of the fact that there's a power bigger than you, and that power is God. Yeah. And we would have those kinds of conversations over and over again, many times. And I tried to, I shared the gospel as much as I could. Other people in my mission community would do it too. So it wasn't just me. They'd take him out. They'd watch his kids, so his wife and he could have a date night. And we just treated them like they were our own family. Like, what would we do if this was our brother or sister, or these were our kids? And so over time, he just continued to get more and more attracted to it. And he came to my 40th birthday party, and my wife just blew out the place. And it was all my unbelieving friends and believing friends. And we believe that celebration is a great way to introduce people to the way of the gospel. And so at the end, I got to toast. They all toasted me, and so my unbelieving friends are like, we don't know if we believe what you believe, because all my friends who knew Jesus were saying, we see Christ, Jesus in you, and this is what we see happen in your life. And it was great. And they're just like, we don't know if we believe any of that. Well, he got up and he said, I'm on the edge. I'm not sure what's going on, but I think I'm starting to believe whatever you guys have. And then
your 40th.
My 40th birthday
What a
party.
great birthday.
Yeah. And then I toasted, and I said, well, it's my birthday. If I want, I can say whatever I want to say. Here we go. And so I just said, I want you to know that the only reason these kinds of people could all come together and have such a great time is because Jesus is the best reconciler. Yeah. And so he brings people together that wouldn't normally be together, and then I share the gospel with everybody. And he didn't believe, that night, it didn't change that I could see. But then just before Easter, the day before Easter, he called me up and he said, could I come to your guys' gathering at that building where you had that party? And I said, yeah. And I had been preparing a message, and it was going to be one of those really hard messages where I thought, oh man, the little bit of fear stirred up in me, like, is this going to be too much for him?
And tone that down.
Yeah, and I really thought about doing that, and the Spirit said, no, I prepared this message for this day. Mm. And so I preached it, and the whole time I'm just thinking, this guy is getting blown out of his seat. I go up to him afterwards, and he's just staring at, at the wall, and I'm like, you okay? You want to talk? He goes, nah. And I go, hey, do you need to process? He goes, I don't want to talk about anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And so then later that week he calls me up and he said, can we get together? I said, yeah. So we go in the backyard and we're working on our neighbor's yard again. And he said, I want to know how I become a member of your church. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, and he'd never been to our church before other than Easter. That was one time. And he said, I want to be a part of what you're doing, this whole thing. And I said, okay, well, membership in the church is this. It's when you believe that what Jesus has done through his perfect life replaces what you've done for your rebellion against God, that his perfect life gets exchanged for your disobedience to him, to God, and that God does this great exchange. And at the cross, he took all of the weight of your sin and all of the wrath against your sin. He satisfied God's righteous anger against your sin and your disobedience, and God is no longer angry, and he accepts you as forgiven and as a son. And if you believe that, we know we believe that because the Spirit of God is sent into our hearts to testify that that's true. And I said, has that happened to you? He goes, yeah, I believe he died on the cross for my sins, and I believe he rose from the dead, and that he's alive, and he's telling me that. And I said, okay.
Wow.
I said, all right, well, that means you're a part of you're a member of the body of Christ. You are. And he goes, that's it? And I go, well, there's other things. He goes, yeah, I'm supposed to give, right? And I go, well, you can. So I taught him through what the scriptures say in giving. And he said, I want to tell everybody. I said, well, you do that through baptism. I said, okay, I want to do that. And he said, and I want to keep serving. Can I keep doing what you guys have been doing with me? And I said, absolutely. Yeah. And he said, but I want to help my friends know about this. And I said, well, that's what we'll do. We'll invite them in just like we do with you. And then that's just continued. He got baptized, came to me, said, I can't imagine, Jeff, being in heaven without my children, being in the presence of Jesus without my children. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it if they're not there. And I said, well, Jesus is far greater than your children, but I understand as a father how that feels. And he said, well, what am I supposed to do? I said, well, God has put you in your household to be the spiritual head of your household, and it's your job now to lead your kids to Jesus. And he said, well, how do I do that? And I said, well, you've been watching what I've been doing with my kids? He said, yeah, I see how you pray with them and you read the Bible. And I said, I'll help you learn how to do that. And so now I'm teaching him how to shepherd his family and lead his kids to Christ. That's awesome. So what I love about that is I didn't have to teach Clay anything about mission, anything about how it works out in the everyday life, anything that, I didn't have to tell him he's supposed to tell people about it. He knew, because that's all he knows.
Because he was watching your lives and examining them and saying, that's what it means.
That's right. For the last year and a half, he just watched us. And so when he's saying, I want to be a Christian, he's not only saying, I believe what you believe about Jesus, but he's saying, I want to be like that for Jesus. And that's what it looks like. It's everyday life.
Yeah.
So I never had to train him. Now I'm training him about the Bible, because he doesn't realize it's all in there. But he already has it, because he's got the Spirit, he's got a community, and now we're helping him see how the Word teaches this.
God grant us more of those.
Oh, man. I'm excited because now he's starting to tell a bunch of his friends about Jesus right now, and so I can't wait till he gets to dunk a couple people when he baptizes them. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.